Good morning everyone, and I'm up and out very early today. Unfortunately it was an utter waste of time because this church, which advertised itself as being open for a service at 8:30, is completely locked up at 9 o'clock, and I've been here for quite some time, but there we are anyway, that's okay. This is the Church of St Mary the Virgin, Little Ilford, Essex in its original day, London now. But interesting little thing about this parish, Little Ilford, in the Doomsday book, the original Ilford, which is quite far away from here now, a couple of miles, but the original Ilford was here at Little Ilford, and the original Ilford village is a lost village. So there's been a church, a wooden chapel, on this spot since Saxon times. That was replaced in the 1100s with this one. The brick built part of the church that you can see is 1724, and that's done by the Little family, which was a little chapel added on by them and the porch, but the rest of it is 12th century. Its original bell tower with Essex weatherboarding. So original, when it was put up it was original, but it's been restored and repaired over the years. But back in not too many years ago, this was a little countryside parish in Essex. So it's a nice little one, unfortunately one which was not open today. See, it's weather vane up there. Take a photo of that. You've got a Churchyard Tour of this one as well, which is a two-parter. So I managed to get a fair bit done today, so not too bad. I'm taking you over this way because there's a Commonwealth war grave over here. And I always like to focus on them if I can. And this is Private 76458 F. Tomlinson, Royal Fusiliers, and he died on the 20th of February 1919, aged 19 years. Picture of that one. You can see the Royal Fusiliers badge. The Commonwealth War Graves Commission, who look after these graves, they're at East London Cemetery at the moment, and they're doing work on that. But they go all over the place and work on many graves. A literally year-round project that never ends. It's like the honoured version of the painting of the Forth Bridge, because the few people that I've spoken to that, like personally that I've spoken to, that do that work for the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, they describe it as an honour rather than an occupation, and I can get on board with that one. Many of these graves are 18th century and early 19th century and completely worn away. We've covered the ones, every one I could cover that has a legible inscription I have covered. Look, you can just see faint traces of the names: John, R-A-N, and then the rest of it's gone. Departed this life. Aged something week, aged 30 years. Yeah, you can see it's more or less completely gone. But anyway, there's a separate Churchyard Tour for this. As I say, yeah, the Lost Village of Ilford, which was originally here in Doomsday. Ooh, Christ in heaven. Fell into that, look. Foot went right in there. Gosh. Oh, if anyone visits this churchyard and you are a bit infirm, disabled, or old and a bit unsteady, please be careful, because it is all over the place. The ground is up and down. It's a much used burial ground, When I say much used, I mean there's a hell of a lot of burials. You think Anglo-Saxon times right to some of the burials here are from the 1930s and a couple of 1940s ones. This church, it shows that this church, being a little country parish, wasn't too badly affected by the London Burials Act. Being in Essex, I mean in London, come 1850s, early 1850s, they'd pretty much banned all further burials in London parish churchyards. Little places like this, and the church at Barking, St Margaret's of Antioch, Barking, this also acted as kind of a daughter church to that, because many of the people that are buried in this churchyard were residents of parishes in of Barking. There's a grave here that's, I think it was a man, and it's late of Great Ilford in the parish of Barking. So yeah, I think a lot of it depended on where you chose to worship, and if you were in the parish boundaries and you had money enough to pay for a grave with a gravestone, I don't think they would have said no. But funny enough, one of my friends who works at Barking St Margaret's of Antioch as a church warden, she said to me that in the 18th century, for a fairly long period, because they had a vicar here, it was quite long lived, and a vicar for a long time, and apparently he was really disliked, really disliked. And a lot of the people that lived in and around this parish chose to go to Barking St Margaret's instead. Because when you look at the burial records of Barking St Margaret's, there's a lot of people, when it says like registers names their parish, like Little Ilford. And I asked Carol about it once, and I said, how comes there are so many people from Little Ilford buried here? She went, well, it's a long story. She went, but there was a vicar who was very disliked back in the original day. She went, and a lot of the parishioners chose to worship here. She went, also as well, she went, as Barking became more built up towards like the latter end of the 18th century, she went, some people didn't like it. So they moved to places like Little Ilford and whatnot, smaller country villages, to get away from, because Barking, you've got the River Roding there, and it's always been a fairly busy market town. But latter end of the 18th century through the 19th century Industrial Revolution, it literally just went, it boomed, and some people did not like it. They wanted their little countryside existence, so they moved to places like this. Yeah, this is a view of the exterior, and as I say, it's mostly 12th century with 1724 addition from the Lethulia family. So I hope you all found this little exterior tour interesting, and go on to part 2 and 3 and you'll get a churchyard tour of this one. Take care everyone, and it's going to be a nice day. It's nice and warm already. As early as it is, it's nice and warm. Take care all, and thank you for watching. Oh, I don't like to keep saying it, but if you did enjoy, please like and share, as it helps the page. Thank you, take care all, thanks for watching.